get into this top 7. First thing is, we'll start with the team dropping out. This is week number 5. Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU huddle report, officially, if you would, for the football top 7 poll rankings. Dropping out this week, Bowie State Bulldogs, 3-2, 2-1, had another loss this weekend, trending in the wrong direction before a big week matchup, but we'll see what that means. Receiving votes this week, Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls, probably the surprise of the season for a lot of programs. 4-1, 3-0, undefeated, continue to get it done. Just outside of the top 7, preferably would be 8 in terms of the total strength of their rankings, if you would. Bringing us outside, also looking in, is Virginia Union Panthers, as they are 4-1, 2-1, 114 points to let you know how strong the rankings are over there. It's fascinating, 114 points, bringing us to what would be the 10th team, third one outside of the top 7, with Bowie State Bulldogs sitting at 3-2, 2-1, 111 points. As I said, they lost their lost matchup, which dropped them out of the top 7 as they were there just last week. Let's get into the big boys with the top 7 to see those that are for real and playing some good football this season. At number 7, Allen Yellow Jackets, 4-1, 2-1. They took their first loss of the season, however. They did drop 3 spots with that loss, 131 points, but they are still in the top 7. Bringing us to number 6. Fort Valley State Wildcats got a big win this past weekend, getting it done against those Yellow Jackets. 4-1 for them. 4-0 in the conference race over there in the SIAC, and got a big win to keep their trajectory going up with 145 points. They were not ranked last weekend, but they're there now. At number 5, Tuskegee Golden Tigers, 4-1, 3-0 in the SIAC, 136 points. They lost last week, but it was out of conference. It was a homecoming game. Hosted by Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs. They were ranked 3 and dropped 2 spots after that tough loss. Bringing us to number 4, West Virginia State Yellow Jackets, independent program, representing for those independent programs out there, having one of the best seasons, 4-1, 4-0 in the conference play. They have a big matchup, and we'll talk about that in the next segment to give them some love in terms of what they're doing this season with 140 points. They were ranked 7th. So they're on their way up as they continue to get it done, up 3 slots this week in week 5. Bringing us to number 3, Miles Golden Bears, 4-1, 2-1. No first place votes, but they got a chance to change that this week. We'll also talk about that in Thursday segments, as they will be a top 3 matchup. Man, this is a big time week for some HBCU football, and they are the ones that start our top matchups, because we have 5 of them this week, 4 of them particularly with all ranked teams. Let's talk about it. 163 points. They move up 3 slots with their impressive win, and all they do is win. Golden Bears, their lone loss is a SWAC member, Pine Bluff, on the road, where they were this close, literally 3 yards away to getting it done in terms of the end zone, 2 yards away for a first down. Couldn't quite get it done in that matchup. Credit to the Golden Lions. With that being said, number 2, Virginia State Trojan, another surprise to some degree, probably not as much, obviously, as Johnson C. Smith out of the CIAA with them, but Dr. Henry Fraser III, boy, he's in his books, and he is turning on the lectures. 5-0, 3-0 as he continues to get it done in the conference race. 2 first place votes, 182 points. They remain in number 2, and they are set up for a big matchup, top 10 matchup, basically, as you see. We'll see what that looks like. As again, we'll talk about that Thursday. Virginia State traveling to Bowie State Bulldogs. Henry Frazier's going home. It should be interesting to see what that looks like. Number 1, Benedict Tigers, 5-0, 3-0, 7 first place votes, 187 points. Quietly, is there such a thing? The team that won the mid-major championship, they just hold on, get it done. Nobody looking around, just beat up on everyone. But they have a chance to really make a major statement, or will it be the Golden Bears? As they go on the road, number 1 goes on the road to face the number 3 in Fairfield, Alabama. You talking about big-time matchup in the mid-major division. If you can't get excited about this, man, I can't do nothing for you. That's on you. With that being said, let's talk about the poll rankings. We're going to give it to our guest first. To Brian, Charles, we're going to let you back it up and do your thing. I saw you shaking and grooving in your head. So I think some things you like, some things you have some questions about. We'll find out. But first, let's go to Brian to see if he's going to continue to hold the mic or will he get that F squared in the class today, especially being late. I might let him slide. What you got to say, Brian?
I'm a little shocked that Virginia Union is not in the top 7. That to me, that's the first standout. I mean, but okay, I guess maybe their win wasn't as impressive for the vote. But it is hard, though. What I really like about the poll, I see a lot of zeros or -1s. Yeah. That is impressive, and so it speaks to how really competitive. You got 5 teams in the SIC that haven't lost. You got at least 3 in the CIAA, maybe 2 or 3, at least maybe 2 or 3, whatever. But just the fact that you have such a nice collection of teams playing well, and now the last 5 weeks are going to be fun every week leading up to the CIAA and the SIC championships. I mean, man, are they going to be exciting? So, I'm excited about the 1 versus 3 matchup. It is what it's going to be. And but I'm just trying to figure out, why Benedict isn't, unanimous. What has Benedict done to not impress the 2 voters who voted for Virginia State? All they've done is they 1 touchdown. One touchdown and 2 field goals in 5 games. Is this Benedict team better than last year? Possibly. At least in the first half of the year, it's looking that way. I'm just saying, what else does Benedict have to do? Maybe we'll find out this week.
It might be some of that, as Mike would say, since he's out, we're going to give him a shout out. Charles echoes it as well. He said, might be a little bit of that East bite. I'm just saying. Before I go to Charles, I do got to ask you a question. I think you asked a valid question. But this is what we need to know. As we do it over here, when you make a statement, you got to support it with a reference. So in this case, we're in class. You might have to do the reference. But if you're going to put Virginia Union in the top 7, that means somebody has to go out of the top 7. Who are you pushing out of the top 7?
Allen
University. And it wasn't by much. It was, by a couple of votes. And then let me ask this. I
like this. Let me follow up real quick before you ask that, because I want to get your question in. How far do you have them falling out? Do you have them above or below Johnson C. Smith, since they're the first one out?
I have them above Johnson C. Smith, and I have a team that's not even in the top 10 sitting in the top 10, and that's the defending CIAA champs. I mean, all they did was lose 1 game to Virginia Union.
That's good.
And they gone. We 86 them out the top 10. I'm just like, okay. But that just says there's legitimately 11, by my count, 11 real strong teams. So, yeah, somebody has to be on the outside looking in. And on your poll, it's Fayetteville State.
But I thought Fayetteville State
they just had a 1, but they're at 11.
Okay.
They're at 11. They had an early loss, Charles, and that's probably why you kind of put them out of your mind, because they had an early loss and they're fighting back into the polls because of that early loss. And what's unique about the poll rankings, it is week to week. So, depending on where you start and how early you lost, it makes it harder to get back up, particularly in the mid-major. To your point, Brian, it's just how many tough teams are up there. But I feel you on that. I think you make a plausible argument. So with that case, I give you an A-. Charles Bishop, what do you say about the top 7?
I'm gonna have to echo Brian on this, because I took a look at the Virginia Union, their dominance this past weekend. It was St. Augustine, but I mean, 47-7, that was impressive to me. They only have 1 loss on the ledger. If I am gonna drop somebody out, I mean, Allen's been the Cinderella, but they got hammered pretty well. They got their wake up call this past weekend, 49-21. So
he knew the glass and broke it.
I really wanted to get Fort Valley on top of Tuskegee. Because Tuskegee, for all the hype going into that game against Alabama A&M, they got Dusty Rhodes off the top rope this weekend. Big elbow this weekend. So I was kind of, that's just for you, AD Drew. So I had to I had to take a look at that, but I can go with them at 5, and I'll Fort Valley at 6 for now. But yeah, they've been kind of getting by the skin of their teeth in the SIAC, and then their wake-up call came against a SWAC team this past weekend. So,
boy, you making some statements, and I like what you have to say. Again, you drop out. Who do you jump in there?
Virginia Union.
You jumped in Virginia Union as well. You did say you agreed with me. I'll say this, Charles. You've taken my class before you're a regular. So with that being said, the standard is higher. So you don't get the first time exercise A-. You get a B+.